Well, here we are. Yep, here we are. Well, hello everyone. I don't know if I'm loud enough. I don't know if this is working the way that it's supposed to. I don't know if any of this is right, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not sure why it looks, looks very small on the screen. Let's see. Hmm. Well, I guess we'll figure it out as we go. As you can hear, we've got some rowdy people still awake here. Nope, don't not clicking buttons, that's for sure. No, definitely not clicking any buttons. Nope. All right. All right. So we've got a glove. You want a glove too? Okay. Got some funny finger things here. Yeah. Yes, Grandma was saying that we need all the PPE and the safeguards and the everything to keep our hands safe and make sure we're not going to the hospital and everything. Yeah. Daddy's gonna try and. Oh, don't touch that. That's the microphone. The microphone? Yep. Oh, what's that? Yeah. What's that? You can't play with that. No, thank you. No, no, thanks. That? Yeah. What's that? What's that? I don't know. Well, huh? That will happen. Headphones? Yes. Yeah, those are my headphones. Yep. Let's see. A couple. What? Mommy turned off the. Yeah, mommy. Yeah, because it's bedtime. Yeah, that's okay. Funny. I'm funny. Yeah. We have it. I have it. Yes. Oh, you want the other glove on too? Mm. No, you just want me to set it over there? Okay, that's fine. What are we doing? Oh, you're gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna sit and see if anybody wants to watch. And if they don't, that's okay. We can just enjoy our time here. Huh? I don't know what you're saying. What's that? What's that? Well, I've got a phone and I've got a light and I've got all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, don't play with that. Nighty night. Oh, it's okay. So my first approach at this is going to be try to get rid of this silly r- ridge that I've got built up here. You know, the one bad thing about doing it this way is I cannot tell at all if I'm loud enough I can't tell if this is good quality, camera's good. I had to do some silly stuff to be able to get this to work, but we're making it work. A little bit of inside baseball. You need 50 streamers, or sorry, 50 subscribers in order to go live on your phone for whatever reason. But you don't need 50 streamers to go live on your computer. But typically, it wants you to use your webcam or OBS or some other kind of software in order to get it to go live. Or if you're like me and your webcam is garbage and you don't have a separate webcam, you can use your phone, which is kind of fun. Get to connect your phone to your computer and use it as the camera. Wonky thing I had to do once I actually got it to the end of the process of turning all this on. I had to disable my webcam in order to force it to use the other camera, which is not ideal, but we're making it work. Ideally, I'm going to go as long as I can, with or without an audience, and I think that's going to be okay. I'll still do my regular talking if I can, and if anybody pops in, I'll gladly answer questions because that's one of the things that I like to do is to answer questions. Probably will um, might work with my mother to do some intro carving videos with her. Sure she would like that. Suppose I should send this over to her. I don't know if she can get in the stream, but I don't think she can comment or anything without being signed into YouTube and all that. So either way, maybe she'll be able to watch this after. And if it goes well enough, I'll be able to use it as content on my channel, other than just as a stream. But we'll see. Um, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was I think the art of being bored is something that we have lost. Maybe some of the older generations will know what being bored is and what you can do with that sort of momentum of being bored. I feel like that's something that the younger generation has a hard time understanding, that being bored is good because being bored means that you're going to use your brain to find engagement in the world that we're in, right? So whether that's creativity or that's deep thinking or even finding something in nature, being outside and everything, it's being bored is good. I think that's something that we've lost. We need to get back to trying to teach my children how to be bored, how to do something with that boredom. devices, cell phones, tablets, all that stuff has kind of made it so that being bored feels wrong. And I feel like that's kind of a false, I'm gonna say it's like a false positive, but um, just we've been fed so much information such a short period of time in our childhoods and such, or even in our later years now with cell phones, um, that we have a hard time with just being okay with being bored and being silent. You know, find ourselves constantly wanting to be entertained or letting something other than our minds give us entertainment. You know, there's nothing wrong with entertainment inherently, but we didn't used to be so entertained. Wasn't as much information being poured into us all the time. Long better. I like that. Um, you have to forgive me if I'm not showing enough detail of what's going on. Oh, my mother gave me a nice little cutting board to well, it's not really a cutting board, but it's a hunk of wood that she thought maybe would be a little more aesthetically pleasing for the camera. So that's just a fun little thing. She also has gotten me some lights to help with not only holding my camera, my phone and such, but also giving me some better lighting. Not that my lighting was terrible before, but have more control over my lighting now. So we're getting there, little by little. We are figuring it out. Mm. So boredom is good. Let's be bored. Find things to think about, things to I feel like that's probably where a lot of philosophers found themselves with time on their hands, thinking about things, and probably made a point of, trying to think about things. And they probably had a grouping of people that they could sit and bounce ideas off of and whatever. Hello, people in the chat. Welcome. It's going to be a nice, calm, relaxing stream. Just a little bit of carving, a little bit of progress. I still have no idea how I'm going to drill this hole out or this hole, but yeah, we'll figure that out later. I think the question becomes whether or not I'm going to do a tapered hole through here, or if I'm gonna just do a straight shot down. But the wall thickness here is gonna be very, very wide, so I think I'd rather do a tapered thing, but we'll see. Mm, Go the other way. Hold this sometimes. It's a funny shape. This was the first knife I was using in my first video, and I have not sharpened it since then, so there's a couple spots on this blade that's probably a little dull, but I might switch over to a different blade if need be. This is coming along better, so I'm happy with this progress. I think this was the correct knife to use in this particular application. Uh, um, so when I was looking for pipes online, I wanted to, and so there's a tomahawk shape that's sort of like it's pointy at the bottom, basically. And when I started making it, it's supposed to kind of look like this. Doesn't quite look like that right now, but I think I kind of switched my my thoughts on this, and I think it's going to be like a witch's hat, like an inverted witch's hat sort of thing. But yeah, we'll see. Just kind of seeing how it goes. Had to ease my way into getting this whole setup to work with this is my phone that I'm streaming from, but I can't stream directly from my phone to YouTube because I don't have 50 subscribers, so had to do like a big old workaround thing. So I'm like streaming through my computer, connected and everything, and I think it's working okay. Does the sound okay and the visuals okay? Ooh, that's why we wear the glove. That's why we take small bites. I may end up lopping off some of this. Huh. Okay. I I'm using like a little um microphone thing. It's my first time using it, so I probably could have just used my phone audio, but I was trying to, make everything work. I'll have to dabble with it and see if I can play with it. I did like a dry run on my when it was connected to my phone, but I didn't get to do a dry run on my computer, so live and learn. playing any games lately? I've heard people from work talking about I forgot what it's called now, but it's you drop in, you try and gather um forget if it's like recipes for guns and different things like that, and then you extract out. I forgot what it's called though. Arc Raiders, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let's see how we are with evenness on either side. Looks like I gotta take some more meat off of here, maybe. It's kind of straight over here and kind of sucks in over here, maybe. One thing about doing pipe like this is it's very unique. It's probably gonna have its own little, you know, ugly spots and fun stuff about it, but that's it's gonna be the good thing about it. It's gonna be a one and only. I think the other reason why I picked this shape, other than the fact that it kind of harkens back to the pickaxe or the tomahawk shape, is those pipes to buy that type of a pipe is like, I don't know, $300-400, $500. Crazy the amount of money they want for them. So I mean, they're good, and they're nice, and they're unique, but I'll be damned if I'm going to spend that much money on a pipe when I can just, you know, try to make one. So that was my first reasoning. People coming over here now. Yeah, it's a really hard wood. Um, most of the time, pipe carvers will use like a metal lathe to do a lot of this work. At least the heavy lifting part of getting the shape in the right. They get like 80% of the material hogged off, and then um they'll take like a sort of like a sander that's doesn't it's just like a sanding wheel that doesn't have like a bunch of protector things on the side, and they can move around the edges of it, you know, to get all the nooks and crannies. But someday I'll get something like that. It's a good little time waster though. It's fun. Gotta save up a little bit and get some more tobacco. Oh, I can actually try this out when I get it done. See if I can hold this without jabbing myself. Right, maybe we'll do that might end up having to be something I'm gonna do with a sander. Something. We'll do the bottom a little bit, make it a little straighter. Nope. Nope. Had an altercation today with a chicken. That was fun. I know exactly why he did what he did, but I was trying to carry some of the hens inside because it was raining, and it wasn't like bedtime, but it was soon enough that it was time to start navigating inside. And I had one of them. I had already brought like two or three of them inside, and I had the third one I had brought in, and he was not happy. He was like, "Hey, put my woman down." But he's one of the ones with an attitude. I don't think any of the other roosters have that much of an attitude. He's just mean spirited, we'll call it. I don't know. Whenever he thinks he can take advantage of you not paying attention, he'll will kick the thing. Don't want to do that. Oh, vertigo. There we go. Yeah, the altercation pretty much turned into he scratched me because I had like shorts on or whatever. I didn't have pants on, but he scratched me pretty good. He didn't have his he doesn't have his spurs yet or anything, so wasn't like, you know, that bad, but drew blood, you know. Not the first time he's come at me or anything like that, but he's just he just doesn't I don't think he likes us very much, so I don't know. It's alright. Probably in the next, you know, I'm not sure if I'm gonna process them yet or if I'm gonna wait till spring or whatever. We'll see. Not a lot of roosters though. Too many. Boy, gotta hold this thing funny just to get the cut I wanna get. There. That's better. Tiny bites. Tiny bites. You know, it's funny. When they were younger, um, the roosters would, sometimes they'd fight with each other, but it wasn't ever like, bad or anything like that. Now, I don't think any of the roosters fight at all. Most of the time, they're just attracted to, you know, the hens and everything. Um, but I was, I, you know, I was under the assumption they were going to fight each other and everything to dominance, whatever. But now, I don't. They don't even care about each other like that. Maybe when they get a little older, they will. But hopefully, we won't be waiting that long to find out. So I've heard some pretty horror stories of, you know, bad things happening in the coop with too many roosters. But now it's just a matter of trying to keep the roosters off the hens 24/7. I've heard that's also a problem, which I can confirm. Mm, Looking pretty good. Take a little off here. Well, I'm excited that the streaming actually works. And I was able to figure it out. Found a workaround, but I'll see how I put a different playlist for the live streams because I figured, doesn't have to be part of the regularly scheduled, program, that kind of thing. Um, but I think it still posts as a video. So, ooh, yeah, there's a big old void in there. I'll have to figure out a way of filling that in at some point. To stab myself on stream, that wouldn't be very good. I'm gonna go to the doctor. All right. Try a different approach here. See if that'll. Well, I'm gonna get back into doing some hiking. It'd be nice in spring or something. Find a nice place to hike nearby. I think the kids are to the point now where they probably would do it for. They probably could go for longer than I would want to go at this point, which would be good. But whoa, kicked. Uh, Nobody's got motion sickness problems. You about to? Mm, like an actual destination hike? Okay. Yeah. Yes, the herbal stitches. Yes. An actual destination. Um, hmm, it, I mean, probably could do um Poughkeepsie Falls, maybe if that's still open and available. They could do that. That's an easy-ish. Well, the down the treacherous, the hill would be the hardest part, but rest of it, I think they could probably do the walking. That looks thin enough there. Suppose I probably should look to see if there's any other spots I probably should focus on. Tapers in right here, bows out right there. Maybe I could take a little meat off of there. This goes. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I've got. I do. I do want to make um a stand for like a multitude of pipes for all the ones that I currently have, plus any of the ones that I make and everything. But um, I have like 3 or 4 pipe stands that are just like the it's like a six. It holds like 6 pipes, and it's got like a little um place where the old timers used to put loose tobacco in like a little canister like this or whatever, and it was just like their a repository for whatever loose leaf they were working with at the time. I got them at like an auction or whatever with a set of pipes that I wanted and cleaned up and use pretty regularly now. But yeah, I do want to make my own stand. I gotta have a place to put them though. I was thinking long term. I got the upstairs shed of having you know it insulated and maybe long term heated, but even if it's just insulated so that I can go out there and I can do streams like this or work in the shop downstairs or, you know, smoke my pipe out there while I'm working, which would be fun. It'll just be a little sanctuary. You want to call it that? Oh, the ridge I'm still worried about is here on the bottom. I guess I gotta smooth it out a little bit right here. Maybe that will help. Thinking of maybe grabbing one of the other blocks I've got and start hogging away at some of that. If I get to a point where I feel like I can't do this finish work with a knife here and maybe have to get like the sandpaper out and all that, I might switch to a um, different block, start working on a different shape. But we'll see. Mm. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I haven't quite the bowl is a little not circular. I gotta work on that a little bit, possibly. But too worried about it. Maybe I can start doing some of this. That's it. That'll be fun. Still, sounds like I'm chewing on something. It's really loud on my end. Mm. Little bites. Little bites. That's all you gotta take. When you take big bites, you're gonna take big chances. We don't do that around here. Someday I want to get an anvil, do some blacksmithing. That'd be fun. Someday. Hey, what else I was going to talk about? I already talked in the beginning about being bored, having better relationship with being bored, trying to focus on, you know, not having entertainment shoved at us 24/7, just having some silence or, you know, reading a book or thinking. Thinking's always good. A lot of people don't really want to think too hard about too much because it can be scary or, you know, but forget what the other topics I wanted to talk about. Guess that's why I went to the live stream tonight instead of doing a video. Didn't feel quite prepared enough to sit and have a dialogue with myself about something. Although the existential crisis was pretty fun. Sitting talking about crazy stuff. Mm, Guess we're gonna find out if there's a void in here. Getting there. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Just getting in the bottom's going to be the hard part. Let's see if I can. Well, if I got a different tool I can use for that. Let's see. Let's take a look. So, got a gouge here. I don't know if that'll do. Maybe. I don't need the big one. Maybe. We'll try it. Um, they're all the cheapy tools. My mother was telling me that these are actually super expensive and well sought after. And she said to be careful of them. I said, okay, I will try not to use them and break them. But yeah, no, we'll give that a shot. We'll try. It's relevant. A little bit. Yeah, that works. It's little divots in there, but I suppose I can get those out after. No, you get back up. We don't need you falling off. Well, the good news is, oh, my camera's trying to freak out. The good news is that I'm able to stream, um, and quality's halfway decent, and the latency seems relatively good, and my upload speed, I guess, is okay enough to do it. So, oh yeah, that was always the biggest problem with trying to stream anything on like Twitch or whatever was it was it was awful when you had terrible internet, you know, 10 years ago, whatever. My internet's marginally better now, so it's useful, but if uh if I sign up for that fiber that's getting put in um on my road within the next year or so, then I will be in even better shape. But I haven't signed up for it yet, so we'll see. Anybody read any good books lately? You haven't been reading as much as I should be. Been doing um the YouTube and occasionally podcasts, but not much else. I've not been doing a lot of reading. And I should be. Be good for me. Yep. It's a little bit of a void right there. We're gonna keep going. I think I'm ready for a drink. Been going for an hour. I'm a little warm. I hope that doesn't crack all the way through. Yeah, we'll see. No, I'm making a lot of good progress here. Going pretty well. Probably should have shared this with, let me see, copy that. See if I can put a Discord and share. Oh, he's not online. I was gonna share it with him. Yeah, that's okay. You would you would have he probably would have appreciated it. He is also a pipe smoker. That's okay. Yeah, I'll flip it to him next time. Well, we've made it down to about here. Because I'd say a little more than halfway. Too bad. Way more progress than I thought I'd be making tonight. Cool thing is, if I can get this pushed through here and I can clean this up on the end and I can drill a hole through there, then I got to figure out how to make a stem. Boy, that's going to be fun. Okay. Oh, I guess that'll do. Okay. How about them sports teams? Huh? Almost there. Hmm. A little more. Oh, I feel like it's nearly there. I have to get a drill in a bit. I remember what the right hole size was again. It was 6 millimeter, 9 millimeter. Shit, I don't remember. Wow, that looks pretty good. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can hit it with some sandpaper. That's going to be nice and loud for everybody. That's going to be fun. Doo-doo. Anybody still awake out there? Tell you what, that's a lot of good progress tonight. I feel pretty good about that. I wasn't sure how that was going to go and how it was going to come out, but you know what? I think that's going to work. I am going to drill a hole through here and pray that I do it straight, and then we'll see how that goes. I might have to come down a little bit farther, but at least I'll know how far down I gotta go and how deep I gotta go with this. Cool. All right. Well, I'll end it on that note. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you guys in the next one. Good night.